D2 Word Life here with Rip Technical Issues Tides.
More like D2 Sunny Lover Life.
She's not having very many sunny days these days, if you know what I mean.
Exactly. She's in a very dark, sunnyless hole.
Where the only color she sees is orange, but that's beside the point, right?
Well, orange is the new black.
No. God damn it! How did I know you were gonna go there right off the bat? You motherfucker! But anyway, that being said, today we're reviewing WrestleMania 14, a show that Riptidz just insisted we watched last week.
No, this was your pick.
Oh, I know, but you were very excited when I announced what we're going to be watching this week.
No, I was not.
Yeah, you were. Don't lie.
Yeah, because the show only had maybe 3 good events.
You mean matches?
Whatever.
Yeah, and this event took place on March 29th, 1998, in Boston, Massachusetts at the Fleet Center, with an attendance of 19,028 fans here. And the commentators were Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler, and the ring announcer was Howard Finkel. Of course, there will be guest ring announcers. I'll get to them for this event when we get to their segments, right?
No.
So yeah, we start up the show by watching their opening package for this show, highlighting WrestleMania moments, and up to this point, which I thought was okay, good startup, but apparently Chris Warren and the DX Band opened up the show with "America the Beautiful" and the Star Spangled Banner, but that wasn't aired. That was cut off of the home video release, Peacock, and Netflix, only because the crowd hated it so damn bad they were booing the shit out of it. Right? So I felt like I had to mention that here. No free-for-all match to speak of for this show. So yeah, no honorary mention here. Right?
Yep.
So yeah, we just started up, so there was no opening pyrotechnics, no nothing. We just got right into it with the 15-team battle royal. And we see, in the first entrance we seen was Farouk and Kama making their entrances, plus the last team in the match. The other entrances were already out there, right?
Yeah.
And the last entrance
the last 2 teams were Farouk and Kama, or later, which would be known as the Godfather, which you'd be coming out as.
Yeah, and then the mystery team for this was the Legion of Doom,
team, who everyone thought broke up a few months prior to this,
or about a month prior, or whatever, right?
And then they came back as LOD 2000. With their mystery manager.
With their manager, the convict Sonny. Right?
Yes.
Well, you know what they say nowadays, orange is the new black, right?
I don't know what shit.
What the fuck did you just say?
I said, God damn it, don't steal my shtick.
Oh, I thought you said, God damn it, that show was shit. Right?
I was yawning when I said a shtick.
But anyway, this was a 15-team battle royal, and it had unique rules that if one member of a team was eliminated, then the entire team was gone, which I feel was kind of weird, but okay. And knowing that it was 2 person per team and it was 15 teams, there was 30 people in that ring, and just for a little visual of what this looked like, just imagine the Royal Rumble match that happens every January, and all 30 participants come out and no one was eliminated. That's how full it was.
No, they were, well, yes, but there was also eliminations where you would see Kurgan.
Yeah, eliminating Sniper and Recon from the match.
And freaking Barry Windham.
And Barry Windham, who also was an illegal participant, came out and eliminated Shanes, who was Bradshaw's partner. Yeah. Yeah.
Which automatically ejected Bradshaw.
And Bradshaw was ticked off about that one. We're not going
Which
to...
I think that's a dumb fucking thing that they did back then for that, is like, because it would actually have been more interesting in actually leaving their tag team partners in the match.
Yep. As in the team has a 50-50 chance of winning, right?
Yes.
But no, that wasn't the case. Maybe nowadays that would be a more interesting concept with that rule, but they didn't do that back then at this point.
And no, that's what I'm just saying is back then I thought that was fucking ridiculous.
And of course, at one point the Godwins got tossed out. The Headbangers got tossed out. The DOA got tossed out. I'm not going through every elimination or every team here, right?
Farouk and Kama got tossed out.
Of course, this match was notable for Brian Christopher and Scott Taylor first being a tag team in WWE. They would go on to be Too Cool later on in their career. Right?
Yes. Because they would literally change their name. Scott Taylor would change his name to Scotty Too Hottie.
And Brian Christopher changed his name to Grandmaster Sexay. Right?
Yes.
But anyway, near the final four here, the DOA got eliminated. Or the DOA got eliminated, and then Phineas Godwin then got eliminated, so the DOA and the Godwins were out, but now we're down to the final two, but the Godwins snuck back in and nailed the LOD with their freaking buckets, right?
Well, we all knew that you were so upset that your boys, the new Midnight Express, didn't win.
No.
You were a friend of Bombastic Bob.
No, you were a fan of Bombastic Bob and Bodacious Bart. Don't be pinning that shit on me.
No. You even said that was your favorite tag team back then.
No, that was yours.
Bombastic Bob and fucking, whatever the fucking dude Bart. Who cared about Bart? Because he never freaking stayed in WWE after that. After his contract ended, he literally became so insignificant, he left.
Well, whatever. We'll get into that after this. We'll discuss that after this. Freaking, looked like freaking Bob and Bart were going to win the match, but LOD fought back and pretty much eliminated both of them at the same time to win this Battle Royal.
And because they both hit a clothesline
at the
over the rope.
And with that, LOD 2000 became #1 contenders for the Tag Team Championships at Unforgiven 98 the following month, which you and I both reviewed. There was no controversy in that tag match whatsoever. Right?
Yes, there was.
But anyway,
LOD should have won.
But yeah, in my opinion, it's not one of the best freaking WrestleMania openers, but I've seen a lot worse. Your thoughts on it?
It's good, but like I said, I think it would have been a little more interesting if they actually kept the other half of the tag team that was in there, so they'd at least have a 50-50 shot, but they just didn't do it that way.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, from this match, I remember Mark Henry thinking it was that way because his partner, D'Lo Brown, got eliminated, and then he stayed in there for a good 5 minutes afterwards, not even caring that his partner got eliminated.
Yes.
Before being dumped out, right? So I'm like, okay, whatever. It's like, whatever. This Battle Royal is just a typical Battle Royal, but just... It was unique, but it's still just there. Right? So yeah, I've seen better WrestleMania openers. They could have had this in the middle of the show and it wouldn't have changed anything of how I felt about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then we get to the Light Heavyweight Championship match. Which, ironically,
Yeah, your
this...
other favorite, Taka Mika's something, and
Yes, it's Taga Misha.
Dracula.
It's Taga Mitcha Humpin. That's what his name was.
No, it was Taka Micha. I'm gonna chappy your pee pee.
Yeah, it was. And ironically, this was the only time the light heavyweight championship was defended at WrestleMania. The cruiserweight title had more WrestleMania matches than the light heavyweight title.
Well, that's because after this, literally discard the light heavyweight to the cruiserweight.
Oh yeah, and before we go deep in this match, I just remembered we were going to talk about Bart's career here a little bit. Yeah, Bart would last longer after this, including getting that tag title shot with Bob as a partner at WrestleMania, or at the King of the Ring '98. A few months later, and then Bart Gunn would go and win that Brawl for All tournament that nobody wanted to see. Am I right?
Yeah.
And then the following year at WrestleMania 15, you know what his reward for that Brawl for All win was? A knockout from Butterbean. And then he left the company. So there you go. Right? God, imagine reviewing WrestleMania 15. I'd be like, well, that was short. I gave that one a 0. Right?
Yeah, the only one that ever stayed was Bob Holly or Hardcore Holly.
Needless to say, I think freaking Bob Holly had a better WWE run than freaking Bart Gunn did. Right?
Yeah, that's why I say he became so insignificant, they literally let him go.
Yep.
Especially after him boasting, saying, "Oh, I could be any boxer." Butterbean showed. He's like, "I accept." WrestleMania knockout.
Anyway, about this light heavyweight championship match, it was Aguila who didn't even get an entrance, so you know for a fact he wasn't going to win this match, but he was taking on the light heavyweight champion Taka Michinoku. That's how you freaking pronounce the name. Hey, Japanese anime fan, I'm surprised you kept butchering the hell out of this guy's name.
I didn't care. All I had flashbacks of was him and Tanaka, Funaki, and fucking then him back in the day with his when his sister was dating Val Venus. All I could remember was choppy, yo people.
Yeah. But anyway,
Is that bad? That's the only thing I remember of his career is that and Funaki.
yes. That is one of the most messed up times, or that's bad that you remember that. But also, people could say that's evil, indeed. Okay, I'm going to hell for that.
No, that's the only. That was funny as no one knew that was literally Kane and Taker fucking literally messing with everyone, and they're like, that is evil, and Funaki, indeed.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
I'm like, dude, when I kept hearing it, I'm like, this is sounding really freaking familiar. And then when they did Kai and Tai and Big Show versus Kane and Tay, I'm like, yeah, that's them.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, the match started off with Aguila taking Tog out with a baseball slide, and then Tog got hit with an aerial moonsault on the outside. But anyway, there was a bunch of... But then Tog reversed a suplex to the apron. And of course, Aguila almost won with a cross-body pin. You gotta think, the high-flying style wasn't really normal in WWE at this time. It mostly was for WCW's Cruiserweight division, though. At this
Well,
same
it was
time
also
period.
it was also the debut of Aguila in WWE because he came up from WCW. That's why they didn't have an entrance for him just yet.
Yeah, and then there was a Frankensteiner hit at one point. Taka tried to nail the Michinoku driver, but Aguila reversed it into a Hurricane Rana. Or attempted Hurricane Rana, but Taka freaking reversed into a power bomb, which, yeah, that looked good, right? That
Yeah.
impressed me. Yeah, and at one point, Aguila tried to freaking, actually, no, Taka freaking tried a high flying dive, only for Aguila to stop him with a drop kick, right?
Yeah.
Actually, no, it was Taka Michinoku nailed freaking Aguila with a drop kick from midair, right?
Yep.
And of course, whatever, that was the beginning of the end, because Taka was able to deliver the Michinoku driver and got the pinfall win, right?
Yeah.
I can't do this match justice. There was a lot of high flying in here and a lot of aerial maneuvers performed. So, yeah, your thoughts on this one?
It was interesting.
I mean, these two light heavyweights or cruiserweights, or whatever you want to call it, was doing pretty much 2026 wrestling before that was a thing. Years before that was a thing. Which is why it was impressive at that point. Right?
Well, they were going to anything 2000 before it was even there. Uh, they were literally in the freaking light heavyweight division in 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2004, and then just continue with the cruiserweight division that they already had in place, despite still having the light heavyweight title on Dean Malenko.
Oh, yeah, and I have to also note this, too. Halfway through the match, Jim Ross on commentary said that, yeah, Taka won the title, ironically enough, on December the 7th, referencing their In Your House pay-per-view the December prior. But yeah, if you want to know why he said ironically enough, yeah, look at the date. And if you know, you know. And if you don't know, do your history research. That's all I got to say about that, right?
Nothing bad happened on that day.
Oh, you know what? Oh, yeah, you know what happened on that day.
Nothing bad happened.
Yeah, as he speaks in a sarcastic tone.
Because
Because you know exactly what that date was, right?
Uh-huh.
But anyway, whatever. Enough about that. We go to our next match, which was for the European Championship. I think. Yeah, but we got to go to I think the backstage segment I'm thinking of aired after this match. Oh wait, no, it was before this match. There was a interview segment with The Rock and Jennifer Flowers.
Yes.
And The Rock was talking about if he was the ruler of this country, we would do all. He would just give up all. He would just, run things his way, and he didn't really care about the homeless. Basically, what? But there's two notable things. It's not really that important, but there's two notable things from that little interview that I took note of. One, this was the first time The Rock conned the catchphrase, "If you smell what The Rock is cooking," by the way. Little wrestling history for you, right there. And of all the people, why'd they have to get Jennifer Flowers to do this? Because she was a controversial figure in her own right at this time. And if you know, you know, and if you don't know, don't worry about it.
Look it up.
Just know that I didn't have sexual relations with that woman. But anyway, enough about that.
That was the Monica Lewinsky, dude.
I know, but this Jennifer Flowers person was also involved with that at some point. Right?
Yeah.
So that's why she was well known. Right?
Yeah, he was talking about his wife at the time.
But yeah, anyway, we ain't getting into that here. This is a wrestling show interview, not one of those kind of discussions, if you know what I mean, right? I tend to keep that out of my videos. So, yeah, moving on. We got the European Championship match next, and it was European Champion Triple H with China in his corner taking on Owen Hart. But there was a little stipulation that had to take place first, right?
Yeah, China had to be handcuffed to Sergeant Slaughter.
I bet you'd love to be handcuffed to him.
I know you would, so you could get chin locked.
Speaking of chin locks, I think Sergeant Slaughter back in his day was immune to chin locks. His chin is fucking huge. But either way, China was reluctant. Sergeant Slaughter actually got in the ring and tried to tell her, hey, you need to freaking get hit. And then she went nose to nose, or what Jim Ross likes to call it, chin to chin. Right?
Yeah, they went chin to chin because Sergeant Slaughter was a foot taller than China.
But either way, as soon as China turned her back on him, Sergeant Slaughter grabbed her wrist and actually handcuffed her to himself, so...
Which is very funny. Not a lot of people knew that Sergeant Slaughter was only a foot taller than China, because you can literally see it in the show where she could only reach his chin.
And of course, China and Sergeant Slaughter would then make their way on the outside while Owen Hart made his entrance.
Which didn't hinder her at all in her career.
Yeah. And of course, Owen Hart made his entrance here, and he got the biggest pop of the night up to this point, right, coming out. And as soon as they got in, he took Triple H down and just started beating the hell out of him, too, right? Before sliding Triple H on the outside. And then when Owen Hart was on the outside, he was mocking China, who couldn't even do anything because she was handcuffed to Slaughter on the outside. So Triple H tried to...
This is pre-Nugget.
Yeah, then Triple H tried to freaking attack Owen on the outside by jumping from the ring apron, but Owen caught it, moved all the way, and Triple H ate nothing but barricade. Right?
Oh.
And of course, back in the ring, Triple H got the advantage by working on freaking Owen's already injured ankle at this point, because in storyline, Owen had a busted ankle that he was in a cast with, who in storyline got it freaking just taken off literally that day in storyline, right? And of course, at some point, Triple H got the advantage over Owen after being whipped in the corner by putting his boot up in Owen's face, which busted the bridge of his nose open a little bit, right? Before Triple H started working on the ankle, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which if your opponent, that's a good strategy. Your opponent has a freaking damaged body part, you go after it regardless, right?
Yep.
So Triple H was mostly working on Owen's ankle, freaking dropping his knee on it, stretching it out, trying to weaken that body part even more, right? And Triple H stayed on offense until freaking Triple H went up to the top rope for some, but Owen managed to take the advantage by knocking freaking Helmsley down off the turnbuckle. So in a sense, I guess you can say Owen was a dick to Hunter's degenerates at this point.
Yes.
And of course, freaking Triple H tried to battle back by nailing a pedigree onto Owen to end the match, but Owen reversed into a sharpshooter, right? But freaking China managed to push the ropes toward Triple H so Triple H could grab the rope to break up, to have the hold broken. Rope break. Oh boy. And at one point, I think Owen went for another sharpshooter, only for Triple H to kick him off to the turnbuckle, and Owen went face first down into Triple H's crotch region again. Right?
Yeah, you could say Owen was a heart to his hunters.
Yeah, Owen Hart was a dick to Triple H's degenerates once again, even by accident. Right?
No, it was hunters.
Yep. Yep. Well, either way, the referee was distracted. Well, actually, no, the referee wasn't distracted. The referee got distracted on the outside when China freaking threw some of Shawn Michaels' white powder into Sergeant Slaughter's face. That was a big waste of money. That was a waste of money, by the way.
Yeah, it was his white powder.
Yes, yes, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
It wasn't chalk.
It was some of that Coca-Cola.
It was some of the New Jack.
Yep, it was some of that Coca-Cola ingredients. But anyway, that distracted the referee long enough for China to get up on the ring apron to deliver a low blow to Owen Hart, which allowed Triple H to nail a pedigree on Owen Hart and get the 3 count to retain the European title here. Your thoughts on this one? From bell to bell.
It was decent.
Was there a screwy finish? Yeah, so he loses points for that. But besides that, I thought it was an okay, solid match.
Was there always screwy finishes with Owen Hart and Triple H? Yes.
Oh, and then after the matchup, when China got unlocked from Sergeant Slaughter, she freaking nailed Sergeant Slaughter on the outside too with a forearm, shoving him into the barricade as well. So yeah, I thought this match was okay. It did what it needed to do, but but I could have done without the interference. But let's face it, this was heel DX in early '98. So what do you expect? Really, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So here we go to what I believe is possibly your favorite mixed tag match. Next. And this one featured Mark Merrow and Sable in Sable's debut match, by the way, taking on Luna and Red Dust. I mean, the artist formerly known as Gold Dust.
Red Dust.
So what's the backstory on this? Backstory was Sable was getting popular and Mark Merrow was getting jealous. And then Goldust as Manson Dust friggin' got involved, and then Luna and Sable just started just beating the hell out of each other week after week.
Yeah, and Mark Merrow married Goldust.
We all know you were jealous of Mark Merrow then.
No, we all know you were.
No.
Well, it was a marriage of convenience, is what they called it, but it was so funny as hell.
Anyway, this mixed tag match was okay, but instead of going over the spots or what happened, since I gave you the last Sable encounter from last week, I'm gonna give this one to you. What did we see in this mixed tag match, if you remember?
Merrow and
Red Dust.
Red Dust went at each other, and then Red Dust tagged in Luna, which made Merrow tag in
Sable.
And fucking
Luna was
she went to lock up with Luna, and Luna ran around the freaking ring, got into the ring,
and tagged
Red Dust in.
Red Dust.
Then that forced her to tag Merrow back in, and then they had their thing going on, and then Merrow had to tag in Brock's wife,
Sable. You forget her name is Sable. You keep describing her being like, you did that last week.
Putting fucking shit together in my head to say too at the same time. That's why I was studying just with Sable. And Sable finally got her hands on Luna, which
The crowd
involved Red
majorly
Dust getting
popped for.
involved in that.
Which when Sable took down Luna and started going at it, the fans popped like crazy. All right.
Yeah. Which made Marrow jealous still. And then Sable tagged in Marrow, which made Luna tag in Red Dust, and then Marrow was trying to hit the TKO,
But Red
which
Dust
Red
reversed it
Dust was a dick to his Marrows.
with a low blow. Right? Of course.
Yes.
Of course, it was what happened shortly after that. I think Red Dust got knocked into Luna.
Yes.
And
And then
Red
which
Dust got hit with a
caused
TKO.
Sable to tag in again. Luna tagged in, so they got into it with each other.
Sable
And
hit
fucking
Sable hit the power bomb on the Luna, which would later become the Sable bomb.
No, sure was for that. Sable hit Luna with TKO.
Yep.
And
Got the 3 count.
which prompted Red Dust to break up the pin.
Well, the match
And
ended
she
with a
wasn't
TKO.
great to his Dust.
Well, Sable got the freaking pin with a TKO on Lita. Or Luna. Why am I thinking Lita? Whatever. Anyway, what happened next? So, yeah, long story short, end of it. Freaking Luna and Sable were the legal women in this match. At the end, Sable hit a powerbomb and then hit a TKO on Luna to win the match. Right?
She won the match with the power bomb.
But anyway, But either way, however the ending was, it doesn't change the fact that that Sable and Mark Merrill won this matchup. Your thoughts on it?
It was good, but it was also a little after this, which would cause Marrow to freaking get jealous again.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was an alright tag match. Oh, yeah. I think the reason why I said lead inside of Luna, here's a little backstory. Aguila, who we talked about in that light heavyweight title match, would later be transferred into S.A. Rios, who brought Lita into the WWE.
Yes.
So there you go. But anyway, I thought it was an alright match. But anyway, we go on to the next one, which we saw Tennessee Lee in the ring, and this was after they showed the little Raw recap from 2 weeks earlier when The Rock nailed Shamrock in the face with that steel chair, which that looked nasty. Something you wouldn't see today, am I right?
Yeah.
And of course, Tennessee Lee was in the ring, and he introduced freaking Jennifer Flowers and Jeff Jarrett into the ring. And I guess Jennifer Flowers was the ring announcer for this Intercontinental title match between The Rock and Shamrock.
Yeah.
And I guess there was a stipulation that if Maivia or The Rock got disqualified, he would lose the title, but that really wasn't made clear during the match entrances at all. And that stipulation, if added, wouldn't even make any sense because of what happened at the end, but we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about that when we get there. Right?
No, the whole thing was because The Rock always cheated to keep his title against Shamrock, so they had that in place. If The Rock got disqualified or anything, he would lose his title.
Yep. It's like near the beginning, freaking Shamrock was in control until The Rock was like, that's it, I'm out of here. But then Shamrock met him on the aisleway, and those two started fighting at the aisleway before Rock whipped Shamrock into the steel steps. And then The Rock got the people's elbow on in the ring, which got him a 2 count, right? Then Shamrock then rolled outside the ring to grab a chair, but the referee freaking tried to take him off it, so he threw the referee into the corner after being distracted, which gave The Rock opportunity to pick up the chair and nail Shamrock in the face with it. Right? And The Rock tried to go for a pin, but Shamrock kicked out. Shamrock regained, and Shamrock freaking took the advantage again, delivering belly-to-belly suplexes off an Irish whip onto The Rock. And then Shamrock freaking got the ankle lock locked in, and The Rock tapped out. This was a short match.
Well, also, the referee had a very unfortunate position in the match as well.
So yeah, The Rock tapped out.
He had the Rock's ass in his face.
Yep.
Because Ken Shamrock had The Rock in the corner, and the referee was down in the corner, and every time he'd hit him in the corner, The Rock's ass would go in the referee's face.
Yes. I bet The Rock was like, sorry about that, I had to freaking rip a big one.
Actually, he did. He had burritos, just like how Rikishi did.
Oh, damn.
Let's just say it was gassy.
So yeah, The Rock tapped out, and Shamrock won the Intercontinental Championship here, but before Shamrock could celebrate, freaking all four members of the Nation of Domination came out to attack Shamrock, but Shamrock got easily disposed of them with belly-to-belly suplexes.
Well, the whole nation was out there to begin with.
But instead of celebrating his victory, Shamrock went back and reapplied the ankle lock to The Rock. And and he just refused to let go of the ankle lock submission hold. Freaking Farouk came out, but he got on the apron, didn't even help The Rock out. And pretty much Farouk said The Rock, fuck you, and just walked out. Right?
Well, that's because he did the same thing a week prior to this when Shamrock had Farouk in the
ankle lock.
Ankle lock, yeah.
And The Rock nailed Farouk with the chair.
Was asking him for help, and The Rock's like, no.
But anyway, there was a bunch of officials, and there was a bunch of other referees and other officials got in the ring and got Shamrock off of The Rock. And then
then they got belly-to-belly suplex.
Meanwhile, The Rock was being taken away on a stretcher. And then the officials, and then after suplexing like 4 referees and an official wearing a suit, Howard Finkel got word and then announced that The Rock was still Intercontinental Champion.
Because the referee reversed his decision.
Because Shamrock kept attacking the freaking officials, so technically that meant The Rock retains the title by disqualification. Basically. So after this enraged Shamrock enough to go attack The Rock, dumping him off the stretcher, and pretty much giving The Rock a belly on the freaking Chris Warren band stage. Before dumping it off the stage himself. And then holding up the Intercontinental title, which could have been his, but no, he had to screw that off. Right?
Yeah, he would get it anyways.
Yes, several months later, but your thoughts anyway on this one?
Yeah, it was a good match.
Yeah, the ending felt flat, and if there's one thing we learned about Ken Shamrock, one, he hates it when he loses a match with The Rock by disqualification, which was the case at the Royal Rumble months prior. And he also hates it when he wins matches, apparently. He goes berserk and crazy, right?
Well, Shamrock is not known for his decisiveness.
Yep.
He's more known for his chaotic indecisiveness than anything.
So yeah, when it comes to Shamrock, did he have better WWE matches at this point, or WWE matches, whatever you want to call it? Yes. Did The Rock have better matches?
He would literally coin the phrase, tap or snap.
Yep, and did The Rock have better matches? Well, definitely yes. So, hell, I wouldn't even consider this the best Shamrock versus Rock match from this time period. They had better matches against each other than this. Alright?
Yeah.
So, to me, this one was just a... It was a whatever dud. Right? It felt there to be there, but whatever. At least Shamrock going crazy got the crowd pumped, so... I guess that was something that came out of this. Right?
Well, shortly after this, Steve Blackman would get involved as well.
And no, it was the next day after WrestleMania. It was a night following WrestleMania 14 on Raw that freaking Farouk would be excommunicated from the Nation of Domination, with The Rock being the full leader of that group and having the group name shortened to the Nation. Right?
Guess who Farouk teamed up with?
Well, he
It
didn't.
was Bradshaw. And who did they become? The Acolytes.
Yeah, about less than a year later, the Acolytes would form. But after the Nation of Domination for a little while, Farouk was in limbo until he formed a team with Bradshaw, right?
Yeah.
Which if you ask me, when people say, "What do you think Farouk's most famous team was?" A lot of people in WWE, a lot of people would say the APA, but I'd be like either the Acolytes, APA, or the Nation of Domination, the original group, right? That he had, yeah.
Well, his most dominating faction was the Nation at a point, and then he just dominated with Bradshaw later.
Yep.
Which he was actually more known for because they were literally the Acolytes.
Yep.
And then Taker turned them. Well, they weren't really a tag. They didn't have a tag team really. And then they became the Acolytes when Taker magically possessed them.
When he was forming the ministry. Yep.
Yes.
And
speaking of
the ministry a year later, this has nothing to do with what we're watching or show we're reviewing. Who was revealed as Taker's higher power?
It was me, Austin!
Yeah, I'm sorry, but Vince McMahon over a year later after this event being revealed as a higher power was trash. Speaking of trash, we go to our next match on here, which was the dumpster match for the tag team titles.
It wasn't a trash match. It was actually a pretty decent match.
I said that because of the prop they were using, but you see what I did there?
Yes. Yeah, we had Chainsaw Charlie, a.k.a. Terry Funk.
Teaming with Cactus Jack.
Cactus Jack, a.k.a. Mick Foley.
Taking on the tag champions, the New Age Outlaws, which was Road Dogg and Billy Gunn here.
Yes.
So both teams made their entrances, and Chainsaw Charlie was in Terry Funk mode. You could tell he was wearing a Funk You t-shirt, right? For this one.
Yes.
And the rules of this match was similar to what a casket match would be, except the dumpster match, like first team to put both their opponents in the dumpster and shut the lids win. Okay? That's pretty much what this was, right?
Well, it was also at this event that Billy Gunn got injured. If I remember correctly, it was Billy Gunn that got injured in.
Maybe had a minor injury or something. I couldn't really tell.
Because they wrote him off TV for a while, and then he came back.
That was in 2000. The Outlaws are going to defend against LOD here, but more on that later. Maybe it was minor. I don't know.
Like, after this, they wrote him off. It wasn't for a long write-off. It was like a 48-hour write-off or something like that. That he had like a minor twinge in his back.
Yeah. But anyway, the match started with But anyway, this was out of control, including this was a chaotic match of the night. Freaking Jack tried a cannonball on Road Dogg into the apron, but Cactus missed and slammed himself in the dumpster after freaking Billy Gunn dropkick Road Dogg out of the way, right?
Yeah.
And tumbles and spills, man. And at one point, the Outlaws were in control, had both Funk and Foley, I'm just going to call them that, hanging over the dumpster, and both of them, and both Billy Gunn and Road Dogg smacked them with the dumpster lids, right?
Yeah.
And Jim Ross on commentary had to be like, well, Terry Funk's used that every time he gets a drink of water, the toilet bowl falls on his head. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, and at one point, both the Outlaws had freaking Foley and Funk into the dumpsters, and both of them were premature celebrating after freaking one lid was closed, and they're like, as soon as Road Dogg tried to close the other one, Cactus Jack came out and applied the mandible claw on the Road Dogg from inside the dumpster.
Right when Billy Gunn was closing the other lid, Cactus Jack popped up out of the trash can, out of the dumpster lid, and freaking applied the mandible claw not once, but twice
on both Outlaws, right?
So you could literally say they had a trashy claw in their mouth.
Yep. Yes. And at one point, Cactus Jack pulled out a ladder.
A dumpster claw? No, it was a dumpster claw.
Yes. And just think, if Kane came out of that dumpster too, it'd be a dumpster fire. Anyway, all right. We would actually see that at a later event on this same year. Don't worry, all these jokes will be coming when we review those shows. All right?
Yes.
But at one point, Cactus Jack pulled out a ladder, put that in the ring, and Billy Gunn and Cactus Jack were fighting on the ladder, only for friggin' Terry Funk to be nailed in the head with something by Road Dogg.
Cookie sheet.
Cookie sheet from Road Dogg, freaking Funk was nailed with, which caused Funk to go backwards into the ladder, knocking both Jack and Billy Gunn off the ladder on top of the dumpster and breaking the freaking dang lid on top of it. Right? So, and at this point, Cactus Jack was able to get out of the dumpster after freaking the Outlaws powerbomb Funk into the dumpster, right?
Oh.
Which prompted the Outlaws and Cactus Jack to make their way to the backstage area, right?
That's because Cactus Jack got out of the damn dumpster.
Yep. So yeah, Cactus and the Outlaws were fighting in the back until freaking until I think Road Dogg got whipped into the freaking forklift full of those bottles, empty huge display bottles, Powerade bottles, whatever. And then
they were the Powerade display bottles that they had, and freaking literally, and then
Billy Gunn
Cactus Jack
nailed a double arm DDT on the gun, right?
It hits the freaking double underhook DDT onto
Billy Gunn.
Road Dogg.
Well, either way, Billy Gunn and Road Dogg were both on this wooden pallet onto this forklift, and then there's freaking Terry Funk appearing out of nowhere, driving the forklift.
Yes.
And he hoisted both Outlaws up to another dumpster that was backstage, and pretty much dumped both Outlaws into that dumpster, and the lids were shut, and the referee called it, awarding the tag titles to Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie. Your thoughts on this one?
It was good.
And of course,
after
the Outlaws were in the dumpster, freaking Terry Funk took the forklift and sat on top of the freaking lids, thus trapping the Outlaws in it.
If rumors are to believed as well, back then, they kind of forgot that the Outlaws were still in the dumpster.
But yeah, Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie's tag team title reign only lasted one day, as they would drop the titles in a cage match to the Outlaws the following night on Raw, but it's another interesting story.
No, it wasn't instant, but it was that cage match that he got injured in.
Yeah. But anyway, here's
And he was just ranting off for just a little while.
Yeah, but anyway. Here's a little. I thought the match was good. It delivered a little bit of hardcore action this freaking show actually needed at this point. But here's a little something more interesting here. This wasn't the original plan, from what if rumors still believed. The original plan was actually for Mick Foley or Cactus Jack to face Terry Funk in some kind of gruesome Extreme Rules type match at this show instead. Which, if we would have got that probably would have been a bloody massacre. Right?
Yeah.
But either way...
Which we got that in the following month.
Yeah, which we got that in the following months. And hell, we even kind of got that at One Night Stand 12 years later, which we already reviewed. Right?
Yes.
So, either way, despite the fact that didn't happen at WrestleMania, it wasn't a huge loss. Right? But yeah, your thoughts on this dumpster match?
It was good.
Yeah, it was alright. Yeah, it was alright for what it was. Now we go on to the semi-main event of this night, which was the Brothers of Destruction facing off against each other for the first time on pay-per-view.
Yes.
Okay, Paul Bear.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, I can't do the backstory justice.
Alive. Taker, and he's coming back for revenge.
Basically, I cannot do the backstory justice. It's one of the best storylines WWE's ever put together, leading into this match.
It was also one of the cringe storylines that they had, but yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean, right?
Yes.
So yeah, the backstory of this one, apparently 20 years prior, The Undertaker set the freaking funeral home on fire, just killing his parents and disfiguring Kane in storyline. I gotta say that, in storyline.
Yes.
And then 20 years later, freaking Paul Bear was saying Kane is alive, he's coming, and he's seeking revenge on The Undertaker, right?
Yeah.
Which The Undertaker didn't believe at first. And then we fast forward to Bad Blood of 97 during that first Hell in a Cell match when Kane actually made his debut, shocking The Undertaker and costing him the match against Michaels.
Off the fucking cell door.
Yes. And then Kane ended up tombstoning freaking Undertaker in that match, giving Michaels the win, which we reviewed Bad Blood of 97, so you can get our initial reactions to that, or thoughts on that. Right? And of course, The Undertaker was like, nope, I'm never going to fight Kane. So Kane went on a freaking destructive warpath for months. Until pretending to be on The Undertaker's side. Right?
Yeah.
And only to betray him shortly afterwards, causing him yet another match against Shawn Michaels. This time it was that casket match. Right? Which then Kane set the casket on fire. Right?
Yep.
Thus, about a month later, prompted The Undertaker to make his return and actually accept Kane's challenge and for this matchup, basically. Right?
After he made a freaking casket of his own with Kane and in the fucking casket, and then fucking lightning struck and caught his ass on fire.
I mean, that's pretty much the gist of it. I mean, you're gonna have to watch the little video package on this to get a more understanding, because I can't do it justice. I just gave the basic shit without all the extra drama in it.
Pete Rose got tombstoned.
Oh yeah, after the video package, we were introduced to Pete Rose, who came out to a bunch of boos. And apparently he was supposed to be the ring announcer for this match. Right?
Yes.
And since he got such a positive response with a standing boo-vasion, he decided to tear into Boston's freaking baseball team or whatever. I'm not a big sports guy, but either way, that got him heel heat. Right?
Yes. He was going into their baseball.
Yeah, and then Kane ended up coming out. Didn't even get an proper introduction from Pete Rose before Kane decided to tombstone Pete Rose, and the crowd and the place exploded.
Yes.
And the roof came off, basically, is what happened. right?
Yep.
Pretty much giving Kane a babyface pop just for taking out Paul or Pete Rose, right?
Yes.
And yes, Kane had Paul Bear in his corner. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just like, okay, they pop, but soon we seen the Druids come out afterwards, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then the Undertaker made his entrance to the ring and got an ovation there. And then after the ring introductions, freaking both of them just went eye to eye in that classic freaking image that we see, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah, and speaking of Pete Rose, this was the first of 3 attacks that Kane did to Pete Rose at WrestleMania, so we got 2 others to look forward to, right? But either way, the match started with Undertaker on offense, but Kane freaking got the advantage back, right?
Yep.
Kane got the advantage back with a clothesline shortly after Taker's burst of offense to start off the match. And then Kane set the Undertaker up in the trio woe position and assaulting with punches and boots. Assaulting with boots plus an Irish whips. But then every time the Undertaker tried to fight back, Kane would overpower him in the early going here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then at one point the Undertaker reversed Kane's momentum by jumping on Kane's back, only to get nailed with an electric chair slam onto Taker, right?
Yep.
And of course, those two eventually made their way on the outside where Paul Bear distracted the referee, which allowed Kane to nail Undertaker in the back with the steel steps. Alright? And I'm just like,
Not
okay.
once, but twice.
And I'm just thinking to myself, them steel steps are loud. How did the referee not see or hear that? Right?
Yeah.
But can you imagine if that's how this match ended? That's it, Kane. You're disqualified. Undertaker wins. That would have been a shitty fucking way to end this. Right?
Yeah.
And the crowd probably would have been chanting bullshit. As we know, right? Yeah, but anyway, like you said, not once but twice. But then, when the referee was distracted by Kane trying to keep him in check from attacking The Undertaker even more with the steps, Paul Bearer came in and started freaking beating down Taker as well. Right? Yeah, and then back in the ring, Kane was able to nail a choke slam on The Undertaker only to get a 2 count. Right? Actually, no, he got a 2 count because he lifted The Undertaker up. That's what, being the cocky heel.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what this Titanic brother versus brother match needs? A good old-fashioned chin lock. Not once, but twice. I'm like, match of the night, 5 out of 5. Right? Just for that alone, right?
Yeah.
But either way, The Undertaker was able to get out of that, and he managed, I think he clotheslined Kane over the top rope, which sent Kane landing on his feet. So the Undertaker was like, you know what? I'm going to do a friggin' my high missile dive onto Kane, but then Kane sidestepped and the Undertaker ate nothing but Spanish announce table.
Yep.
Which, what would a WWE event be without the Spanish announce table getting broken, am I right?
Also, he literally ate the table because Kane threw a piece of it at him.
Yes.
He's like, oh, you didn't have enough. Here's brunch.
Yep. It's like, yeah, there was your table for dinner. Now here's dessert, the table leg, right?
Yes.
But then back in the ring, The Undertaker somehow managed to get a little bit of advantage over Kane, including attempting giving Kane the tombstone, but Kane shifted his weight and reversing the positions, and Kane then delivered a tombstone to The Undertaker, right?
Yeah.
And then Kane covered The Undertaker only to get a 2 count, right? And then Yeah, and then the Undertaker then freaking fought back, hit a running clothesline onto Kane. The Undertaker then chokeslammed Kane and then delivered a tombstone, which everyone thought at this time. Everyone thought the match was going to be over. Kane got tombstone. The way Kane landed on his head, Glenn Jacobs lucky he didn't break his neck on that landing. Am I right?
Yeah.
But everyone thought, okay, that's it. It's over with. Taker won. No, Kane kicked out after 2. Which, yeah, later streak matches that Taker had with, say, Shawn Michaels and Triple H, it was common for them to kick out of the tombstone at that point. But back here in 98, no one kicked out of the tombstone, so that's why it was a big deal when Kane did it for the first time. Right?
Yeah.
And even freaking Jim Ross on commentary made a big deal. It's like, no one's ever done that. No one's ever kicked out of the Undertaker's tombstone. What the hell? Right?
Yes.
So, what did the Undertaker do in response? He nailed a leg drop onto Kane. And then the Undertaker then freaking gave Kane a second tombstone. And once again, Kane kicked out at 2. And at this point, Paul Bearer, even on the outside, was looking at this in shock. Right?
Just time screaming, Kane! Kane!
So the Undertaker, looking increasingly frustrated, was thinking to himself, what the hell do I have to do to put Kane away? Right?
You hit him with a third tombstone.
Yeah, so Undertaker nailed Kane with that flying clothesline, which would become a Kane signature later on, right?
Yeah.
And then the Undertaker picked up Kane one more time, nailed a third tombstone pile driver. This time, instead of doing the traditional freaking arm freaking cross against the chest pin that Taker was overdoing, he decided to hook Kane's leg, and the Undertaker got the win, but Kane still kicked out at 3.1 right after the 3 count was made. Symbolizing that I may be down, but I'm not out yet. Right? You only beat me by a fraction of a second. Right?
Yeah.
And of course, after the match, Paul Bearer got in the ring and started attacking the Undertaker while trying to get Kane back up. And of course, the Undertaker got up and nailed Paul Bearer, which Paul Bearer fell in the most comical way possible. Right? But the Undertaker was so fatigued, he went back down, and then Kane took a steel chair and nailed the Undertaker in the back with it. And then Kane freaking tombstone Undertaker one last time onto the chair before leaving the ring with Paul Bearer. And despite all the damage that Taker got in this matchup, Taker sat up once again and then left the ring. Your thoughts on this one?
Decent. But they had better matches after this.
I know, but I'm just saying this was the first WrestleMania encounter they had, the first time these two characters fought against each other. With a great to me, I thought this was the match of the night, to be honest. I know other people have different opinions, but to me, this one was the match of this show, in my opinion. Right?
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe they would have better matches later, and yeah, you're probably right about this one, but this wasn't bad for a first encounter between the two. I mean, it could have been worse. Right? And and here's a little fun fact that that everyone may or may not know about. This was supposed to write the Kane character off for good, and Glenn Jacobs was supposed to be repackaged after this. Thank God Vince McMahon decided, nope, I ain't going to do that anymore because of how over the Kane character became during this feud. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Which I'm pretty sure when Glenn Jacobs heard, yep, nope, we're keeping the Kane character. I'm like, well, that set his career for the rest of that set his career for the rest of his wrestling career, right? As the Kane character, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, I thought this was a match of the night on this show. There's no doubts about that. But then we go on. We got one more match to talk about, and that was the WWE or WWF Championship match, whatever you want to call it. I just call it WWE Championship because I'm so used to saying that these days. Right?
Yeah.
You can hate me in the comments all you want. It's basically the same championship anyway, regardless, right?
Yeah.
And it was between champion Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold Steve Austin, with Mike Tyson as the special outside enforcer for this match.
The only reason why they had Tyson was because he was serving a year suspension for biting off Holyfield's ear.
Yes. Yeah, the backstory of this one, Austin won the Royal Rumble match. Michaels was a champion, of course. Between the Royal Rumble and this WrestleMania, Michaels did not wrestle one single match and had a bunch of matches he had lined up canceled. Mostly because Michaels injured his back during that casket match with The Undertaker, as we all know. It wouldn't be long after WrestleMania. It wouldn't be long after WrestleMania when Michaels had his back surgery done, right?
Yeah.
So Michaels was already going into this match injured, not even at 100%, right?
Yep.
So yeah, Tyson came out with his DX theme. People freaking were booing the hell out of him, but it wouldn't be that way by the end, right?
Yeah.
So then Austin came out, got a big ovation from the crowd, as we all know he would, right?
Yep.
Yeah, then Michaels came out, and right before his theme entrance hit, his DX theme hit, he was like, "This is for you, Earl." Wearing my good luck charm, because Earl Henner was in the hospital at this point due to a brain aneurysm that he had, right?
Yeah.
He ended up going to hospital days before WrestleMania at this point. So yeah, the two made their entrances, the championship's on the line here, and now here we go.
But you also forget that the band that sang the national anthem sang the DX entrance.
Yeah, it was Chris Warren's band and the DX band who sang the DX theme song for both Triple H and Michaels, though Triple H's was just an instrumental version of it, but still. Right?
Yeah.
But anyway, Michaels freaking exchanged jabs against Austin, but Austin managed to grab freaking Michaels, thus exposing Michaels' ass to the crowd. Did we really need that?
It's also me that noticed that Shawn Michaels was not wearing underwear.
Yeah, why did we need to see Michaels' ass in this match? I don't know. Right?
Because you could literally see even Stone Cold was kind of disturbed by it when he grabbed it, because you expect to see like tights or underwear or something that they would wear underneath their suits, and all you see is his ass.
No, Michaels was going freaking commando under his tights for some reason. Right?
Yeah.
Of course, we all know you were very happy to see Michaels' ass.
No. But you were happy that you saw something whiter than your own.
And of course, Michaels tried to run at Austin following this, but Michaels was backdropped over the top rope, ass still exposed. Right?
Right into Triple H in China.
Yeah, like they wanted a piece of that Michaels' ass. Right?
Yeah.
And of
Which
course,
prompted Triple H to get involved, which prompted the referee to tell both Triple H and China to leave.
yeah. So Triple H and China were banned from ringside. And of course, Austin and Michaels brawled on the outside, which prompted freaking Michaels to hit Austin with a symbol from the DX band stage, right?
Yeah.
And then Michaels and Irish whipped freaking Austin into the dumpster that was still sitting there, right? By the stage as well, or band stage as well. Yeah, and then they made their way back to the ring. And then Austin nailed Michaels with a clothesline and then ran him into the turnbuckle, and then followed that with an inverted atomic drop, which, that had to freaking injure Michaels' back. And that's not even the worst bump Michaels took in the corner, by the way. Right?
And when Stone Cold threw Irish whipped him into the turnbuckle, he tried to do his normal flip, and he failed.
Yeah, Michaels tried to do a Ric Flair inspired flip in the corner, or his normal flip in the corner, whatever you want to call it. He just ended up smashing his lower back into the turnbuckle and flopping face down forward. I'm just like, yeah, Michaels' back is completely shattered after that. It was hurting going in, and that probably didn't do it any favors. You know what I mean?
Caused him to actually go and get a second opinion from his doctor, which his doctor showed him that he had bulged discs.
Yep.
And the crack in his back got longer.
Probably because of that fucking bump in the corner. All right.
Yes.
But either way, freaking Austin attempted to nail a stunner, but Austin freaking reversed it, or Michaels reversed it. And Michaels tried to escape the ring, but Austin delivered a freaking right hand on a freaking Michaels, forcing Michaels to freaking fall down on the announce table on the outside. Right? Yeah, and then later on, Austin rushed at Michaels, only to be backdropped into the crowd, so yeah. And then Michaels struck him in the head with a ring bell, right? Of course, I did not bust Austin open, unlike the previous year with Bret Hart, right? No blood in this match at all. Anyway, Michaels took advantage inside the ring, delivering a snapmare and a low kick to a grounded Austin, and at one point Michaels was able to put on the figure four on Austin after working on his knee. Right?
Well, you wrap that knee around the freaking post.
Yeah. And of course, later on, Michaels nailed with a baseball slide on the outside, which put him over the announce table again. Austin was thrown back to the ring by Mike Tyson, though, following that, and then, well, obviously, that's when Michaels freaking performed the figure four, and illegally using the freaking the ropes for the advantage, for the leverage advantage, but Austin was able to break out of it by getting it to the rope, right?
Yeah.
And of course, Michaels was then thrown into the back turnbuckle that trapped Mike Chioda in there, but then Mike Chioda fell unconscious after both Austin after Austin freaking attacked Michaels, thus having both freaking Michaels and Austin crush Chioda in the corner. Right?
Yeah, Mike Chioda also had an unfortunate incident beating Michael's ass.
But yeah, anyway, despite the pain, Michaels was able to fight back near the end. And then Michaels was able to nail the freaking forearm on Austin, not with much flair with the kick up as he would like, but you gotta excuse Michaels for this. His back was pretty much shattered into pieces at this point, right?
Yeah.
So Michaels, despite the grimace in his face, he was preparing himself. He got up to the top turnbuckle and was like, okay, I know this is going to cause my back more pain, but I got to do this. Michaels was able to nail the flying elbow off the top rope. Right? And then Michaels then freaking got into the corner and started taunting for a sweet chin music. Super kick. And then Michaels went for the sweet chin music. Austin blocked it. Austin then immediately went for the stunner, but Michaels blocked that. And then Michaels went for the sweet chin music again.
And Stone Cold caught it, and then he hit him with the Stone Cold stunner, which
then he pinned Michaels.
Tyson came in and counted the 3.
Yeah, Tyson came in and gave a quick count to the 3, which gave Austin the WWE Championship for the first time. All right.
Yep.
So yeah, before we talk about what happened after the match, your thoughts on this one. I know I didn't go through the match in excruciating detail, but I really don't have to. It's just one of those matches you gotta watch it for yourself, like I say with all these matches. Your thoughts on this one?
It was good.
Yeah. Was it the best Michaels match? No. Was it the Austin match? No. Was this the end of the New Generation era and the start of the Attitude Era? Yes, in my opinion. Right?
Yeah.
And of course, after the match, what did Mike Tyson do after the match?
Oh, Stone Cold was giving Tyson the Austin 316 shirt, and Shawn Michaels gets. I was like, Tyson, what the hell?
You're supposed to be on my side. What the hell you doing? Right?
Yes,
And then what did Michaels do that what most people, including ourselves, would say would be a dumb decision?
he ticked off Tyson.
Yeah, Michaels took the T-shirt from freaking Mike Tyson, threw it out, and went for a cheap shot on Tyson, only to get knocked out by Tyson's right hand.
Yes, and as you could tell when Shawn Michaels hit the freaking mat after he got up from being knocked out, he's like, "Oh, my jaw is it still there?"
Yeah,
He was moving his jaw when he got punched in the jaw, and he's like,
he's like, fuck, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and of course Tyson celebrated with Austin, and Tyson even took that Austin 316 shirt and draped it over Michaels' unconscious body before leaving the ring, before he and Austin left the ring. This was a spot that pissed off Michaels to high heaven, too, by the way. Right?
Yeah.
I guess that wasn't supposed to happen. That wasn't agreed upon. All right. But either way, I thought it was a good way for this WrestleMania. And of course, Austin went on record saying he didn't really like his match with Michaels, but because of Michaels' limitations and injuries, because Austin thought the match could have been a whole lot better than it was. But you know, it is what it is. Shit happens, right?
And this would also write Shawn Michaels off from being retired for the first time.
Yeah. After this, Michaels would return during that 4-year hiatus, but not in a wrestling role, as like, you know, the commissioner or special guest referees, you know, for matches. You know what I mean?
He was the commish.
Yeah, and he also came for a special referee spot on multiple occasions. His most notable one was that Iron Man between The Rock and Triple H when he wore them short-ass tights. Or short-ass short shorts. God, I hated
like them
that.
sparkly shorts, didn't you? You were so jealous and you went out and bought yourself a pair and you looked
No.
at yourself and you're like, I don't look good. I thought I would, but
It's like, no, that's you. You're all over them shorty short shorts.
I do have a pair.
It's like, I remember, hell, even when we were reviewing the Judgment Day 2000 event, freaking Triple H went up to Michaels, what the hell's up with them shorts? Well, they're just my shorts. I hate them. I'm like, I agree. Right?
You're like, I agree, but I want them as well.
No.
Yes.
By the way, this would be Shawn Michaels' last match until 2002 when he would actually return after 4 years from not competing in the ring for that street fight, or that unsanctioned fight against Triple H at SummerSlam of 2002. So there you go.
He would return shortly after this event. It wasn't into he'd become the commissioner in.
I'm just saying his next match. In late
Yeah.
98. I'm just saying his next match that he would have, that Michaels had following this, as like an official match that he competed in, was in 2002. Not counting his non-wrestling appearances.
The Triple H's manager.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just saying this would be Michaels' last match up until his last actual match until 2002, despite him making non-wrestling appearances in between.
Yes, but then he would be the commissioner from late 98 to late 99.
Yep. So anyway, that's our review of the show. Now we get to go to what I always call our favorite part of these shows, and that's our rating system. So, the Legion of Doom winning that 15-team tag team battle royal, I gave that one 3 out of 5.
3.
Is that yet? Taka Michinoku defeating Aguila to retain the light heavyweight championship. I gave that one 3.5 out of 5.
3.5.
Triple H defeating Owen Hart to retain the European Championship. I gave that one 3.25 out of 5.
4.
You enjoyed it way more than I did. Anyway, Mark Marrow and Sable defeating Luna and Red Dust. I gave that one 3 3/4 out of 5.
3.5.
The Rock defeating Ken Shamrock to retain the Intercontinental Championship with that controversial ender. 2.5 out of 5. It really didn't do it for me.
3. It was a decent match, like I said. It would have been a 4 or 4.5 if they didn't have the freaking Nation interfering at the towards the end.
Yep. Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie defeating the New Age Outlaws in that dumpster match to win the tag team championships. I gave that one 4 out of 5.
4.5.
Undertaker defeating Kane and going 7-0 at WrestleMania at this time. I gave that one 5 out of 5.
5.5.
And of course, the main event, Stone Cold Steve Austin defeating Shawn Michaels to win the WWE Championship. I gave that one 4.5 out of 5.
5.5 again.
Yep. So my personal final grade for WrestleMania 14 is a B.
A-.
So yeah, that's our thoughts. That's our thoughts and our grade and that's our rating and our grade for WrestleMania 14 apiece. So, god damn you, I know I'm going to regret this. And you know I am, buddy. But next week on the classic pay-per-view reviews, it's going to be your turn. Oh, I have a bad feeling already. What the hell are we going to be reviewing next week?
We're reviewing the WrestleMania prior to this, WrestleMania 13.
We already did WrestleMania 13.
What's the Iron Man?
Think a year prior to 13.
12?
Yes. WrestleMania 12 was the Iron Man match between Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. If that's the one you're thinking of, you asshole.
Yes.
Fuck. Oh, so that's your pick for... I knew that was going to be your pick, you dickhead. Despite me having to correct you on numbers, you gotta remember, WrestleMania 13 was the Austin-Bret Hart match in the Taker-Sid main event. We already reviewed that last year. Right.
I've seen so much of the fucking shit because of going back and rewatching.
So it's kind of hard to keep track, but still, you're an asshole for this. So what do we got? Okay. For next week, what the hell do we have here? Oh, we got that Iron Man match for the WWE Championship. That's going to be a snooze fest.
Taker.
We got Diesel and Takers taking on each other. Or if that don't tickle your fancy, how about a 6-man tag pitting Ahmed Johnson, Jake Roberts, and Yokozuna against Owen Hart, British Bulldog, and Vader?
Yes.
Or how about Stone Cold Steve Austin taking on Savio Vega? Or if that don't tickle your fancy, how about that squash between the Ultimate Warrior and Hunter Hearst Helmsley, a.k.a. Triple H? Or how about that Hollywood backlot brawl between Roddy Piper and Goldust? We get to review all that shit next week. Fuck you. And we all know how the Hollywood backlot brawl ends. Jesus Christ, it was a different time period. I'm not looking forward to seeing Goldust wearing fucking lingerie again. Asshole.
Yes, you are.
No, that's you.
No, that is you.
Oh yeah, and there's nothing better than watching a 60-minute Iron Man match that has no pins in it whatsoever and has to go into overtime. You suck. I'm gonna be falling asleep to that one just like I did before. Most of it's just going to be me talking. Oh, there was a high spot, rest hold, rest hold, rest hold, rest hold, high spot, rest hold, rest hold. Just fuck it. Right?
Yes, we're going to be reviewing WrestleMania 12. One of the ones you said you've always wanted to review.
No, I never wanted to review this.
Yes, you did. You just told me last week that this was one of your picks that you wanted to review.
No, I didn't want to review this. Yes, there are some high spots, but that main event is a slog to get through. I don't care if it was Michaels winning his first world championship. It was a slog to get through. They could have done a 2 out of 3 fall stipulation, and that would have been better than what we got. So, yeah, next...
There was pinfalls, but it was just fucking 1 and 2 counts, and then it just went into fucking submissions after that.
And then we had to go into overtime, because, yeah, as if this... the Michaels-Bret Hart match is the longest match in WrestleMania history. This is bullshit. The second longest WrestleMania match was that freaking 40-minute tag match with Reigns and Rock against freaking Rollins and fucking Rhodes from Mania 40, and that was better than that Iron Man. God, this sucks, right?
You said you always wanted to review. It was one of your favorite highlights of the match.
Oh,
and of the show.
I just imagine me watching this. Okay, I'm going to watch the first 15 minutes. Okay, skip ahead to the last, 15. We're good. Everything else in between is just the same shit on repeat. Because I am not watching the full 60 minutes. I can fucking guarantee you that. You're like, oh, buddy, yes, you are. And to prove that you did, you have to painstakingly talk about it spot for spot. The goddamn video would last longer than that fucking match.
We will go. We'll do our dreaded spot for spot.
No.
For spot. For spot.
There's a reason why I quit doing that. Fuck off. And you could say I did most of the spots for some of these matches on this show, but I didn't go into great detail or anything like that. And I didn't go for spot for spot.
Great detail. We'll go into even to the minute bumps that they did at WrestleMania 12.
By that point, I'd be like, I am deleting this channel. I am done with reviews. I'm not doing that. That video would be 5 hours long, and 4 of those hours would just be talking about that match. Anyway, I'd be like, oh, hell no, we ain't doing that. Anyway.
Also, everyone that pre-ordered a certain game today, it comes out in 5 hours. Well, 4.5 hours.
Well, at time of recording, by the time I put this video up, it had already been out for those who pre-ordered. But
yes,
but at time of recording,
talking about 2K20 said, "Well, there's bullshit that you get 2K25 for free."
Yeah, and at time of recording, this is March 5th. At time of recording this, so today the pre-orders for that game drops.
Yes.
So, I guess in the future, expect us on our Twitch channels to do live streams of that game as well.
Yes.
So, yeah, that being said, wish us luck next week as we get to review WrestleMania 12. Go fuck yourself. So until then, we will talk to y'all later. Peace.
Remember, guys, don't fall asleep during our next review.
I would advise you click off of the review next week before we talk about that Iron Man. But either way, we're going to be reviewing that next week. So until then, we will talk to y'all later. Peace.
Deuces.